Hello, today we're going to go through how to do the new sunflower and wild rose plots. The first thing we're going to go through is the tools. I would recommend getting a builder's ruler and possibly a block zapper. Builder's wand may also be useful. One thing you want to make sure you grab is the Infinidurt wand. We will also need water of any kind. Magical water bucket is the best, and also the Prisma pump. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to start out by clearing out our plots. This is 5 wide. I'm not going to fly the whole way. It'll take a little bit. We are going to start with just doing the first plot, and then we will continue over to the next 5, so that we have a nice long section to do it in. Okay, to start off with, I'm going to show how you can efficiently build this. First off, grab your ruler. What you're going to do is you're going to smack it down. So as you can see, that is soul sand. This doesn't need to be soul sand, but you'll see why I'm doing it in a short moment. So the next block here should be raised up by 1 because there's going to be water here. So we're not going to put the block there yet. Instead, we're going to swap out. We're going to put in our Infinidurt wand, and we're going to do 2 rows of dirt. Okay. Next, we are going to do leave this empty again because water needs to be here. We're going to move over 1 more, and this is where our soul sand needs to be. So we're going to take out the Infinidurt wand, and we're going to put down some soul sand. It's going to be a pattern of soul sand, gap, dirt, dirt, gap, soul sand, dirt, dirt, and so on. Right. Then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to fill that with water. We will smack down a Prisma pump. It's going to fill down the row. Water. Prisma pump. Oops, water in the wrong spot. Prisma pump. There we go. Fill it up with water just so it's nice and flat. And you'll see that that carried it pretty much all the way to the end of this. Now the fun part is always trying to remember where the plot ends. If you look here, this should be the edge of the plot, right on these 2 pieces of brick. And as you can see, using the wand, we actually build up right to it, which means that when we paste this down, it'll be very easy, because we'll only have to build all of this once. Okay, so then the next step is that we need to fill in the second layer. So the second layer is going to be built on top of the first, and the easiest way to do it is probably just to put dirt here. And just smack down with the ruler. Make sure that you've got your dirt wand. 1, 2, 3. Alright. Now what you need to do is get rid of these spots of dirt. Fill it in with water so it looks nice. And then we're going to fill in this with water as well. Alright, so now this is ready to seed. But before we seed everything, we're going to build up the rest of the lanes so that we can copy the entire thing and just paste it. So you have the first layer down. I personally would want to put a second layer on, and that's what I'm going to do. However, if you wish, instead you can just continue this out further. Currently this is 5 long, because you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 soul sand. So you could probably fit another, I'm going to guess another 5 here, or sorry, another 10 here, for 15 in total. Split that 6 and 7 between the 2. So you wouldn't need to do a double stack, but in this way I can have 2 15 lane farms in the end, or if they decide to add another crop sometime in the future, we'll have more space for those as well. So for the second layer you have 2 options. One takes up 1 more block vertically, the other takes up 1 more block laterally, which is say it takes 1 more block to the left. So the reason being is that you have to have this extra block here so that the water doesn't pour out all over the farm. If you try to build it in line, you need 2 blocks of height because that's how tall the crop is. In my case, I'm building the one that's 1 over to the left because I wanted to see if it was possible. It didn't have any alignment constraints, and it does not. So if you build off 1 to the left, then you go for these 2. These 2 are sunken down 1 below, or you go over your walking lane, which is also sunken 1 down below, and then you do not have to worry about being too close to the crops. So that is basically something to consider. You can either build this 1 down or 1 higher and in line. Okay, so in the end, this is what it should look like for the first plot. To give you kind of a concept of where we are, we're going to enter from right here, and we'll move across it like this. And we'll show how the turn-ons work once we get them. And that works also for the bottom here, as you can see. We'll be able to turn around and move on them. You may notice that this water here is not flowing. That might be because it's been built over here as well. If you try to do this, the water will overflow into the next plot. In fact, if I were to update this, it would, but I don't want to make a mess. Right, so now that we have our plot, so this was done in plot 23. What we're going to do is we're going to take plot 23 and we will save the preset. We will call this Sun and Rose. We will make it, it is interesting that they did not add Sun and Rose to the new menu. So we will make it bold. So now we can go to the garden desk. And now what we will do is we will change these to the Sun and Rose preset. We are currently looking at the left side of the farm. This area you're going to be running this way into, so you'll come out of this into this side and then run back into this lane. I put these yellow and black blocks above it to make it more clear the count of them. As you can see, the bottom should be 10 blocks in, and the second one should be about 8 blocks in, and you should be able to figure your measurements from there. I'd recommend counting 10 in, breaking this block here, then you know you need to break 2 out, put a dirt block there, and so on. Once you do this section, you know that your lily pad for that side starts in line. And that's just a nice way to do it, specifically when you're on the layer below putting in your turns. The second side will be the same. It's just a matter of basically inverting it. For figuring out what lane is where, we know that this is our starting lane, which means that we're going to go down and then we're going to come down the stream. So that means this is where we need to put a turn. And same thing here. So we go down, which means we come back here, so we need to put a turn here. And then this one, we do not need to put a turn because this is where we will, well, fall off into the void. Once we're done with our farm, we'll come back around, we'll loop here, and then we will just fall into the void, and we will have a respawn point set either here on this block or beneath it. And here's the right side of our farm. As you can see, it is very similar to the left side, except, well, I mean, even this is the same. So we'll come out of here, we will be holding W, we will hit this wall, and then we will change whether T or A or whatever your left and right is, and we will go the opposite way. So instead of going right here, we'll go left. I guess the difference is on that side, instead of going left, we go right. This is, instead of going right, we go left. I've included the blocks here, so you get the spacing on this. As you can see, it should be 10 blocks on this bottom here, and then it should be 8 blocks on the top. Again, for trying to count out here, I would count out 10 here, and then I would put down that sign, and then I would basically do the 2 here, the dirt block here, 3 here, the 3 lily pads in front of here. That's where you need to put the rest of this. You can see that the same is true for the rest of them, and this is what it would look like without the blocks. You can see that basically you just want to put Wild Rose or Sunflower anywhere they can fit, because these are going to be the scragglers that you hit during your lane transitions. Okay, so the next step we're going to cover here is how fast you need to go and also how you use it. So here you can see we're starting on this corner of the farm. For me, that is the southwest side. We're going to start on either this square for the Wild Rose or on this square for the Sunflower. And what we're going to do is we are going to slide in. We're going to squeaky mouse mat to be the correct angle. We're going to hold W and either D or A. So in this case, since we're going right, we're going to hold D. So we're going to hold those 2 buttons, and we're just going to go. Keep in mind this is my 1.21 speed. Apparently there may be a difference between them. So in interest of transparency, this is 1.21. And we'll continue on this. I believe each lane ends up being like 6 minutes or something like that. I can't quite remember. So in the interest of time, we would do that for a very long time, and then we would go all the way down here. Let's pick up right here, and here's how it works. So we're holding W, we're holding D, right? Holding W, holding D. We're going down. My angle's a bit off, and now we transition, and we just keep on holding. And as you see, during that time when we slid, we were still farming crops, and that's sort of the innovation that this farm has over other designs, is that effectively the actual downtime that we have is very minimal, and that's very, very good for rates. So this should help you keep a solid 20 blocks per second for an entire contest easily. It will drop off when you fall into the void, but that should be a very, very small amount of time compared to farming the entire farm. Final thing to talk about is that there will be a Litematica of this available, probably either on the Elite Farmers Skyblock Discord, or I will host it on a file sharing, whatever I can find. In either case, the location for it will be in the description of this YouTube video. If you came here from Elite Skyblock Farmers, it might be in the forum that this is in, or one of the posts, or something like that. But that Litematica will basically give you instructions on where to put every single block. Do not use the autoplace function, you'll probably get banned instantly. But you should absolutely consider it, because in that way you can make sure you don't misplace anything. It's very useful for these parts. Just be mindful that you don't want to try to put it down block by block. Follow what I initially suggest, and then put on the schematica and make sure you get your turns right. That would be my recommendation. All right, so thank you. I want to give a quick shout out to the people who came up with this again, which Kaeso has told me I should thank himself for the original 4-deep lane design, Pklm for being one of the first ones to make it into this kind of farm and made the improved lane swap, Agitated Snake 91 for designing the A style of farm that takes heavy inspiration from, and I believe what he's saying there is that this farm takes heavy inspiration from a farm that Agitated Snake 91 did. So please let me know if you have any questions about the farm. Ideally direct them to me and not Kaeso, just because, well, I'm the one who did this weird 2-stack and slapped it together in this way. So if there's something wrong with the farm, it's probably my fault.